Well, this is a very special time, LittlestWiiviewer. According to Jeff Tips, this is our 700th video.
We've been doing this too long.
It hasn't been like 8 years or 9 years. I'm making me do math in my head here. It's like, wow, 700 videos. Well, here we go. We say review this game that everyone's been waiting for. It's the Wiiviewer.
And the LittlestWiiviewer.
And we're going to review
Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, or as you like to call it, toilet paper.
Alright, I should probably get this out of the way. I have never been the biggest supporter of this game. I've been, let's just say, a little negative. I have been on record saying that this is the game that decided they all got into a meeting and said, you know what, guys, what if we made a Zelda game but took out all the fun? They're like, that's a brilliant idea. We'll call it Twilight Princess. This is what I think is the second worst Zelda game ever made.
What's the worst?
Zelda 2.
No, CGI games.
Those don't count.
Yes, they do.
No, even Nintendo doesn't count them. They were just a deal that they made back when they were going to make a Super Nintendo CD player. Let's Twilight Princess. Gotta stay focused in this review. The first question you probably ask is the HD remake better than the Wii version? And the answer is yes.
Definitely.
It's better because the motion controls are gone.
As well as the improvements that are basically from Wind Waker HD, with the Miiverse feature being limited to Miiverse.
This is definitely better than the Wii version. The visuals look better. Not that much better, because I don't think Twilight Princess looked that bad at all when it was the Wii version.
They made it brighter. They also made it less tedious in some points.
It's still dark, depressing, and a game I really don't want to replay. Because there's just no sense of enjoyment in this. In the other games, you can feel like, even in the original Zelda, you can feel exploration. And this one, it just kind of felt like they took Ocarina of Time and just said, let's make the very first emo Zelda game.
This game really does copy a lot from Ocarina of Time.
No! Really?
Like, it's basically that game, but just like darker.
I mean, you can't say that about Skyward Sword, because it is not anything like Ocarina of Time. And you can't say that about Majora's... Well, I guess you could say about Majora's Mask.
Actually, yeah, it's basically like a ROM hack of Ocarina of Time.
But it's still different. This game almost felt like it was a carbon copy of it in a way.
What's so wrong about that? Ocarina of Time is a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. It doesn't need to have a secondary version of it. Why not give it its own identity? Now, believe it or not, I've actually never reviewed Twilight Princess. I've been doing this for 8 years and I've never done that game. But, you know, the HD version came out and I'm like, yeah, why not? Now, the gimmick in this one is that you can turn into a wolf. And just like Sonic, that totally works. Oh, wait. It doesn't work at all.
Hey, it allows him to move quicker through the fields where you can't use the horse.
Now, the one thing I want to say is that there's a point where you can't turn back into Link, and then you get the power to turn back and forth. He's like chained down at one point in the game, and then for some reason, every time he turns back into the wolf, he still has a chain on his foot. But he doesn't have it when he's Link version.
Maybe it's just hidden in his pants.
Why does he take off the chain? If you could chew off a chain, how about chewing the whole thing off? So, as a wolf, you have the power to see ghosts, I never knew that power existed.
You had the ability to be wolf and smell, which totally is inaccurate to how a real dog or anything like that would smell. As well as the ability to smell, most accurate thing of what a real dog would do, dig. And with that, you can dig up dig spots to find items, or go into secret caves or something like that, or get into a building.
These dig spots are often glowy, so you know where they are.
Only when you're in senses mode.
The weird part was, once you dig it, all that dirt just collapses again. So it was, at what point you're going back and forth and back and forth? I'm like, how is there any dirt left in this thing?
The wolf can also jump, like, a lot better. He can actually do some hardcore parkour.
Oh, I mean, like QuickTime? Because you know QuickTime improves anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. And of course, he's got some of those brutal attacks, like finishing moves. He rips their throats out.
But he can only do that for one specific enemy, so...
Well, I guess Link has a finishing move too, where he stabs someone. So, you start off the game in what I call Tutorial Town, which was nothing but the worst, longest tutorial I've ever gone through. I almost felt like they should have had someone holding my hand the entire time. Alright, Link, let's go to the next part.
It's very slow.
Believe it or not, they cut it down from the Wii version.
They made it so that instead of having to catch 2 fish, you only have to catch 1.
Now, the one thing I will give this game is that I liked some of the dungeons. I just think they went on way too long. Like, there was this one level where you go through someone's house. I thought that was clever. Every time I went through a dungeon, it felt like the pacing was wrong. Especially that very first one, the Forest Temple, where it's like you have to find all these monkeys to get across a level. It was just so tedious. They could have cut out like 3 of those monkeys. I mean, the very first dungeon should be quick. No, this one felt like it just went on forever.
Do you have a problem with long dungeons?
Yeah.
Why?
If it gets to the point where I start getting bored, I don't like it. That's not to say that some of the dungeons didn't have some clever puzzles, but it was marred by these really boring, bad pacing problems. Now, of course, there were some new weapons that you can get in all these dungeons, well, just like every other Zelda game. Now, I do think they got kind of cheap when it was like, look, you got a hook shot. Look, you got another one. What are you, Spider-Man now? I wish you could be Spider-Man. That'd be awesome.
That's a really cool item, though. I didn't hear you complaining about it in Skyward Sword.
Yeah, but Skyward Sword was, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yeah, fun. I have been on the record saying how much I enjoyed Skyward Sword. I'm not saying it was perfect, but at least they had some sense of enjoyment in this game. Sure, they overused levels a little bit. This feels like they just tried to be as depressing as possible.
I don't know what you're gonna get more hate for, saying that Skyward Sword is good or Twilight Princess is bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's disappointing.
Dungeon items in this game seem to have a strange thing to them. Some of them are just variations of other items. There's the Gale Boomerang, which is just an alteration of the boomerang, which you see in many games, and there's the Claw Shot, which is the variation of the Hook Shot.
The Gale Boomerang was just basically a variation of the Leaf from Wind Waker.
No, not really. The Leaf is better for gliding and whatnot.
No, I meant the wow. The wind part of the leaf.
That's not really the same. It's more of a boomerang.
I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just saying it's the same idea.
It's a boomerang with wind powers for some reason.
Yeah. The one really new one that was kind of cool was the spinner.
The spinner and other late game items don't really seem to have a use outside of their dungeons. Sure, it's awesome to use when you can use it, but it's pretty bad otherwise.
I thought the Hyrule was a little too big.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about the town. It seemed like they made it too big just to make it look full, but there really was nothing to it. There's only a few places you can go to. But you're talking about Hyrule Field you hated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too big.
You worried about that with the new NX version? I'm sorry, WiiU Zelda version?
What if that new game is actually just the sequel to Twilight Princess and it has all of the problems?
God. No. Have you seen the visuals? It looks like a sequel to Skyward Sword, which would be awesome.
Well, lacking motion controls kind of draws away from the Skyward Sword likeness.
You know, I like the motion controls in Skyward Sword because they were a lot more precise. And when I'm playing the Wii version of this game...
That's because they're not motion controls, they're shake controls.
Right, exactly.
Like Mario Galaxy.
That's exactly it. They had no real feel to them. They were just like, shake, 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 until you get a wrist cramp. That's one of the things I did not like about Twilight Princess for the Wii, and that's the thing they fixed in the HD version, which I applaud them for. Now, one of the things we should probably talk about is the fact that you can use your amiibos with this.
Yes, they can refill consumables and hearts. Or, in the case of Ganondorf, make the game harder by doubling the damage.
Or if you have the Wolf amiibo, you get a special zone you can go into. We don't have that. We rented this game. Sorry, we couldn't actually test the amiibos.
I never ran out of arrows. There are a handful of collectibles. Many of them are not that useful. There's the postals, which... once getting 20 of them, you get the only good reward, which is a bottle. If you get all 60 of them, you don't get a very good reward. Ever gotten all the golden Skulltulas in Ocarina of Time, it's basically the same reward. As well as the postals, there are the bugs, which gets you money and wallet upgrades, which is completely useless because money is very plentiful in this game. You need the first wallet upgrade, but you literally just need to get one bug in order to get that. Other than that, it's just to get fast money. The second wallet upgrade is not that useful.
What's the highest wallet upgrade?
You have to catch all of the bugs first, and then use the Wolf Link amiibo and go through that entire thing.
And then you get what?
A wallet that could store 9,999. Which
do they give it to you, or do you have to actually collect that?
It can hold up to that much.
But they don't give it to you?
No. I can imagine that would be very useful for the magic armor.
And what does the magic armor do?
The magic armor, it slowly consumes rupees over time, and each time you get hit, you lose money instead of hearts.
That sounds very useful. Now, one of the things I liked in this one, better than I liked in Skyward Sword, was the weird teardrop collection thingy. Because at least it wasn't timed, and you could go at your own pace.
Actually, it's kind of tedious. It's very
it's tedious in both games, but at least in this one, it's not timed.
Well, I never really made it that far into Skyward Sword to actually get to that point, so...
Well, I did, and I'm telling you, it's much better.
New to the HD version, just like the Miiverse features Wind Waker HD, there is now stamps, which are suddenly making a comeback.
Have you ever used these stamps?
No, I never bothered to post.
Yeah, me neither. But I guess if you're a Miiverser, this is a great thing.
There's a total of 50 stamps. They can be found in chests, replacing money chests, and occasionally found by doing side quests. It's also the traditional heart pieces as a collectible.
Yeah, but I think it's 5 pieces now, isn't it?
Yes, because, I don't know, maybe they wanted a more rounder number.
So, LittlestWiiviewer, Twilight Princess, would you buy, sale, or skip? Or rent, because you can actually rent this one if you have GameFly.
Don't ignore that thing.
Fine. Buy, rent, sale, or skip.
Definitely not buy, because I did not have that much fun playing this game. I'd say that it had some enjoyment, but for the most part, it wasn't the most enjoyable game in the world. If you want a better game, then try for Wind Waker. Even if you disliked it in the GameCube version, you would like it in the HD version.
Wind Waker's amazing. So do you think you should buy, rent, or sale, or skip?
Probably just sale, I guess.
I don't think this is a terrible game. I don't like the way it's presented. It felt like they just said, you know what, let's make a really dark Zelda game. And that's just not something I go for.
Something I feel like they thought was, let's make a game that drags on.
So you know what? I'm going to say sale. This game is passable. There's nothing really wrong with it other than the fact that it's just too depressing. It's not a world you want to go into. So I'd say go ahead and buy it when it's on sale. Well, that's our review of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Why don't you check out my last review of Cutie Clash?
Or check out a classic review of the other Wii Zelda game, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword.
Like always, you can follow me on Twitter at Wiiviewer. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe.